Okay, I want to talk about editing your content of your web page. And when I say content, I'm talking about these pages. So this kind of stuff. Each of these sections are considered pages. And let's talk about if you want to go in here and edit these. It's pretty easy. First thing you want to do is scroll to the bottom of your page and click the admin button so that you can log in. I'm automatically logged in because I've already done it. And there's basically two places you can edit. There's posts and there's pages. So I'm going to just open up the website here in a second tab so that we can kind of jump between the two of them like this. And let's just start with this home and about us page. If we go back to the dashboard and we click this pages button, it's going to show up all of the pages on your website. And so some of the pages are what are called sub pages. So our philosophy is a sub page of home and about us. So if we go to the website, you can see that this menu item has these sub pages. Our philosophy, training area, employment opportunities. That's why there's these little dash marks. And basically, if you ever want to edit one of these, you just roll over it and click edit. Now there's also a quick edit button. You can edit or quick edit. What quick edit does is it pops open this little quick edit window where you could basically change the name. If you didn't like it being called About Us, you could call it something else. But I'm going to cancel here. Edit is what you would click if you want to actually change the content within that page. And really there's two major things. There's three major buttons that are important on this page. There's the visual and HTML buttons. These are tabs. And visual is the window where you kind of, what you see is what you get. And on some browsers, you can grab this and make this window a little bit bigger. But basically, if you're on the Visuals tab, you get all these extra little editing tools. And if you're on the HTML tab, those tools go away, and then you get HTML tools. So if you can actually, if you know how to code in HTML, this is the page you'd want to look at. If you're not really familiar with coding in HTML, you want to go to the Visuals tab. So you want to make sure those two tabs are the tabs you're working with. So try to pay attention. When you're on the Visual tab, you have two rows of editing tools. And for some reason, sometimes the second row is hidden. And the way to turn it on is this little button here on the end. So if you click it, you'll see those. It's called Show and Hide Kitchen Sink. I don't know why it's called that. So we'll leave it open so that we can see these options. And maybe we're going to want to change, let's say we want it to be called clubs instead of club. I just type an S. Or let's say I want to change this so that the word Leduc Canada Gymnastics Club is bold. So I'll click the bold button. It's kind of like using Microsoft Word. Let's just click update. Let's pretend we're happy with those changes. You'll see it's going to take a minute to kind of load and save it. And then once you've made those changes, you can click this View Page button. And I'll just bring this down here. And now we'll see that these words are now bolded. Simple as that. I'm going to actually unbold this. Turn that bolding off. I'm going to click update because that's going to update the page. That's going to take a minute. So I want to show you just a few more things. You'll notice that we have some photos on some of the pages. And there's a couple ways to embed photos, but I'm going to talk about that in a different video. And basically editing all takes place here. What we do want to do is talk about these posts and the difference between the pages and the posts. The posts aren't the same as pages. Posts are something you're going to want to post every so often. Let's go to your web page here for a second. Each of these represents a page, each of these little pages here. Every one of these represents a page except this one called news. The reason news isn't a page is because it's expected that every so often you're going to update the news page. So you're going to probably update this registration flyer. And so there's a couple ways to do that. This single tab here, news, acts like your blog. So instead of continuing to update this page, what you're going to do is you're just going to keep making posts. And whenever you make a new post, if we go back to your dashboard, whenever we make a new post, your first post is called past documents. If we go here, we'll see it's called past documents. They're going to show up on this page, and they only show up on this news page. So let's make one brand new post real quick, just to give you an example. I'm going to call it, this is a new post. I'm going to add some text here that doesn't matter. I'm going to copy and paste it a bunch of times. And now I'm going to show you other aspects of your post before we publish it that are important. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see there's this allow comments on and off. That's if you want people to comment on the website. I'm going to suggest you leave that off because you probably don't really from my understanding, you probably don't have an interest in kind of tracking that kind of stuff. So let's just leave that off. We're going to name it news. If you don't choose this category news, it won't show up on your site, basically. So we're going to make sure this category news is clicked. We're going to say, oh, I'm happy with how this looks, and I'm going to hit publish. Simple as that. Now, we can delete any post at any time, so don't panic if you've made a post by accident. And so now it says I've published it. I'm going to go over to the website, and I'm just going to refresh this page. And what we should see is there's now 2 posts on here. One's called This is a New Post, which is all the crap I just wrote. And then another one called Past Documents, which are all your past documents. Most likely what's going to happen is you're going to make a new post that says, let's just do it now. Let's do a brand new post. On the left side here, you're going to have a tab called Posts, where you can click Edit, and it will show you all the posts you've ever made. And you can at any time just delete one if you don't want it. Or you can just add a new one. And I'm going to do that really quick right now. We're going to call this New Flyer Summer 2010. I don't know what you're going to call it. You're going to add some text. You're going to add a PDF, which I'll explain later. You're going to make sure it's on news. And then you can hit publish. And if we go over back to the website and hit refresh, it's going to show up right here. So now you have 3. And what else you're going to notice is your news will show up as little comments here. And I think I've set this to 5, so it'll show the most recent 5 updates that you've made. Simple as that. I'm going to go back to the site, to the dashboard here. I'm going to click on Edit because I want to delete those 2 posts I've just made. And I'm just going to throw it in the trash. It's 1 click. And then I'm going to throw this one in the trash as well. All right, so if I go back to the website and I hit refresh, now it's back to just this 1 post I made when I first set up the site. And for the most part, that's really all there is to posts. Now I'm going to get into a little bit more detail if you want to talk about adding photos and links, but that's in the next video.